I have sinned. I was on Twitter and there was a fight I was watching. It was Tien versus Goku and I was enjoying it. I'm going to show you what I was enjoying. That whole thing was AI. Every single piece of that, every single part of that was AI, but it looked like those old-timey Chinese kung fu movies that I really enjoyed growing up. So I was enjoying the mess out of it. As a matter of fact, I'm going to show you another thing that caught me off guard that was not made by human hands. I know what you're going to say. Well, I can tell that it's AI because of the line work, and I can tell, but that doesn't matter. The average person is a dummy just like me, and I'm not very smart. I'm wise, but I'm not smart. That's why they're two separate stats in D&D. I am wise. I am not intelligent. And the average person is going to look at this and say, oh, that looks pretty cool. As a matter of fact, the average person is going to look at this as well. And they're also going to look at this one. And they're going to look at this. And they're going to say the exact same thing that happened when fast food blew up back in the day, when McDonald's had that 10-cent burger and everybody was lining up to enjoy some good old hardened McDonald's burgers. They're going to say it is efficient, it is quiet, and they're going to do it with zero shame and total confidence that they're enjoying a burger, because hunger is primary. You can spot the weird frames, the melted fingers, the soulless shine in eyes that stare just past the viewer, but none of that matters because the average viewer has already been trained to consume sludge with enthusiasm and then recommend it to you as if they've discovered fire. Prometheus, where are you at, brother? Helios, Icarus flying too close to the sun. Oh goodness gracious, great G.O. me. I have been recommended series. Yes, I'm talking about True Record of Ragnarok, with animation that it looks like it was rendered inside of a microwave during an earthquake. It's garbage. It's trash. I hate every single second of Record of Ragnarok when it comes to the anime. The manga, the artwork is outstanding. See, people spoke about shows such as Record of Ragnarok with passion, with lore and deepness. They were speaking to me, and the idea that AI anime needs to pass some objective quality bar, you are living in crazy land. You're living down the rabbit hole. It does not have to do that. Taste is not a barrier, it is a preference, and preferences are wildly flexible all the time, especially when it comes to slop. All the time. People eat Chipotle. I'm not even trying to dog on Chipotle, but it's just a bowl of slop. It's just all the food mixed together. All the food's touching. It's just what it is. It's just all food consumed together. You ever get a bowl from Chipotle? That's AI anime to me. That's all it is. People will consume anything if it vaguely gestures at the shape of something they already like. For instance, this thing right here. Now, objectively, that looked like trash. Objectively, it just looked like garbage, but it was recognizable characters. People know these characters because it resembles the shape of something they like. Anime is a medium that needs artist really bad. Let's say an anime is catching up with the manga and they need a few filler episodes, but the studio doesn't have the budget to make a few filler episodes that are really good. They're going to plug in some AI and save themselves a little bit of money because they care about the economic value of everything. It's just economic. Anime as a medium is especially vulnerable to this dynamic because it already runs on repetition, archetypes, emotion, shorthand nonsense. It bypasses scrutiny entirely. Big eyes signal innocence, dramatic pauses, oh that's death, tragic backstories, just one frame. It's great. Endless exposition over unmoving mouths signals, I don't know, something. All this has trained audiences to forgive the visual emptiness of a lot of anime, and that is a perfect medium for AI. The medium has spent decades teaching viewers that intention matters more than execution. If the story matters, then the frame rate is basically irrelevant. So AI stepping into this ecosystem, that's just regular. It's a natural evolution of laziness meeting demand. It's a perfect alignment of technological capability and the audience conditioning of the fast food mindset that we have been so actively consuming for years upon years upon years because of convenience. You know what really sucks? I'm happy for all the activists that will actively talk about this, the things I'm about to mention. You can explain data sets stolen from real artists until your throat collapses. You can do that all the time. As a matter of fact, you can detail the environmental cost of training massive models, all the water, all the deforestation, the energy consumption, the carbon footprint, the fact that small communities that have data centers are having a hike in electric costs. You can catalog the aesthetic rot, the homogenization of visual language, the slow death of regional styles, and the response will still be, yeah, but it looks cool. Look at this AI image of myself I made on Facebook. Look at this AI trend that's going around on Instagram. Look at this. This is really cool. Consumption has been fully divorced from responsibility. Completely. This is the real engine behind it. The thing people don't like saying all the time, AI lets people touch the aura of greatness without paying the toll that greatness has already demanded. Take for instance the videos that I make, right? I spend a lot of time making these videos. I don't script them, I just kind of rant and speak, but I do edit them. I do spend a lot of time figuring out where I'm gonna stand when I walk around, figuring out these edits right here. And even that little cut took a little bit of time extra, and I do this out of the love of positioning and to make my video a bit more dynamic. That's just love. There was an AI voice doing this. He could be on the moon, he could be in Mars, he could be anywhere. I could do that if I had a green screen. I don't know how to edit a little bit more, but I'm just happy speaking in front of what I have. Look over there. That is a traffic light. Hopefully that entertains you a little bit, and hopefully you like the art done by human hands, but that may not be enough for you and you may require more. People wish to do exactly what I do without actually doing the hard work it takes to actually be charismatic and have your speech be on point. When it comes to AI art, we got Van Gogh, Da Vinci. Every name we mythologize in art history represents obsession, time, suffering, rejection, repetition, failure stacked on top of failure until something really emerges. They were bad before they were good. They were ignored before they were celebrated. They paid for their eventual mastery with decades of invisibility and doubt. AI doesn't. It's the aesthetic echo of that mastery without the decades of being bad first, because people hate being bad because it's embarrassing. This morning, this exact morning, I was streaming on my phone and I got 5 comments that said, "You look goofy when you work out." Brother, I'm working out and it's hard to work out. And they said, yeah, goofy position, goofy walk, goofy run, because people want to shame people into not doing something because they think it looks strange. And people internalize this a lot, and people don't want that internalization. Imagine if you could make an AI image of yourself with all these muscles and builds and things of that variety. Wouldn't that be fun? It offers the final frame without the thousands of discarded sketches. That is what it is. And I need those discarded sketches. I need the hard work and resilience because it calluses me to continue and persevere. That's why I'm never going to get burnt out, and I'm able to make a video every single day because I have worked on this for eons and eons and eons inside of my brain. And what is hard to you is easy to me because I've worked with failure my entire life, because I am not a failure, but I do know how to fail. People with AI don't. But that's the average person, right? They're very, very lazy. And it's intoxicating to be lazy. It's irresistible to anyone who wants reverence, that doesn't want to sacrifice. That's what it is, the legacy without the labor mindset. Humans want legacy. That's why we have kids. They want attention, they want recognition. They want the feeling of having left a mark on the world that will forget them eventually anyways. It's such an ancient, primal, it's not even an evil desire. That's why I'm so serious. We have children to carry our names forward. We build monuments to outlast our body. We write stories, paint pictures, compose music, chase credit, all because we are terrified of being forgotten. AI presents a shortcut to that existential reassurance, a button you can press that says, I made something. And it doesn't force you to become someone in the process. You can just make something, and that's how people feel. And you can tell them that their art is bad. You can tell them that. You can tell them that's not even their art. You're copying from a bunch of artists. But then they're gonna say, well, that's just inspiration. And you are arguing online, and you're falling back into that worthless trap where you argue with an idiot online, and they bring you down to their level and they beat you with experience. That's what's happening. People with no skills and no patience, and they can't hoop, they can't ball, they literally do nothing at all. That's Hobson. They will default to AI because it flatters the ego. That's all it does. There's no discipline when flattering the ego. The system rewards that behavior over and over again because the algorithm is going to keep pushing it. Even if you're only interacting with bots, people don't care because platforms want content. They want engagement. They want uploads every hour, every day, every week without fail. A human artist has such a difficult time sustaining that pace. So difficult. The reason I'm doing so well on YouTube is because I upload every day. That's it. So many people say, you upload too much. I don't care. Why do you upload twice a day? I actually upload 3 times a day. As a matter of fact, upload 3 times a day on YouTube, twice a day on Instagram and Facebook, and I upload once a day on TikTok. So if we want to be real here, and I stream Monday through Friday. So boom, I work like a machine. The machine wins the distribution war while the human wins what? A pat on the head? A niche audience that cares a little bit about them? A small, low following that will be drowned out by the algorithmic tide? And if that's enough for you, then congratulations, you are a true creator, and I am proud of you. Whenever I upload a video, if I get more than 10 views, that's a success. That's a hit, baby. That's a hit. That's a bar. That's an absolute hit. I'm always excited about that exact thing. I am not upset that AI anime, such as this, exist. Not upset it exists. I'm not. It exists. It's here. I'm upset is that this culture was already taught that effort is optional. That sucks. And that's where the conversation usually stops and people say, oh, it's over. Oh my goodness. Despair isn't a real strategy. You can't do that. And if you get mad about something and you want to get outraged about it, you can't do anything. If you actually want to push back against this, you have to think structurally. You gotta stop with this moral argument. People don't care about that. They don't care. You gotta think structurally. I want big content creators. If you ever see this video, I doubt you will. I need you to make human flaws visible because we have streamlined I'm gonna take a seat for a second. Hold on. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna take a seat. We have streamlined the process of content creation so much that people think that it's supposed to be this nonsense over and over, etch-a-sketch garbage over again. I need to see behind the scenes footage. I want to see time-lapse creation. I want to see the other drafts. I see this me sitting down. This is actually a mistake. I didn't really need to sit down because I do anything. I need to see the sweat made legible. When people see the labor, they can value it differently. You should value this because it's right. Right? That's what it should be. That's what it should be. They can connect with the person behind the work, and the connection is something that AI can't replicate, that behind the scenes stuff. And that is a cut from me from the chair to here. You see that cut? Here goes another cut. Reward effort culturally. That is important. Spotlight creators who show their work, platform content that values process over these pure polish of everything. Build communities that celebrate learning arcs instead of pretending geniuses with flawless geniuses are fully formed. The internet loves origin stories. It loves watching people struggle and grow. And I know a lot of you love watching me grow from the small channel I was a year ago into what I am now. It's an inherently human story. AI cannot participate in that. Only I can, and only you can. Nobody ever suggests this. Nobody I know has suggested to actually show the process of things. That is so important. But make the process the important part instead of the end product. We need to make the minutia, the hard part, longer videos. We need to make that part important. That's what's important. Build friction back into creation spaces in a healthy way. Fund art education, make accessible tools that teach fundamentals instead of replacing those fundamentals, create social incentives that praise improvement rather than this actual constant output. People will always want shortcuts. That is human nature. It's the reason we made the microwave instead of just using fire all the time. Reason we actually made cars instead of walking everywhere. But if we want art to survive as something alone and alive rather than a content skinwalker, we have to make the long road visible, meaningful, and worth walking again. That's what we have to do. And I'm not talking about stopping AI, by the way. AI is not going to be stopped. I'm not stupid. I'm not nitty. I'm not going to say, we have to stop AI. I'm not stupid. I'm not dumb. I need to create a parallel ecosystem where human-made work can thrive. That's what we need to do. You need to stop working on trying to get rid of AI and start working on letting humans thrive. I'm so serious about this because you're not going to get rid of AI. You're insane. If we can create an ecosystem where how was this made is a more important question than what is this about? That is important. The sludge is going to keep coming. It's going to keep improving. It will keep getting harder to distinguish from the real thing. But the real thing will still be real. It will still carry the weight of a human life behind it. For some people, enough people, maybe that weight will still matter. My question to all of you is whether we can build the infrastructure to make that weight visible, to make it worth choosing. And that is the question I pose to you today. I hope we can do that one day. In any case, I have been me. If you wish to support a human creator, I have a Patreon. Go ahead and check in the description, or you can go ahead and check the top comment if you want to help my Patreon. If not, that's fine, dandy. Have a lovely day or night wherever you're at. I'm out. Peace. Bye.
I'm your Nick and night, be my Laurel. Happy to try what you need. Your world, I love to live in it. I love the ride.